So what's popping? As I always say, ain't nothing new under the sun, right? But I had an intrusive thought, and then after having that intrusive thought, oddly enough, I was on the jack talking to one of my brothers and shit. And during the course of that conversation we had, a uh, a pattern that both of us happen to see that runs prevalent in society kind of kept popping up almost in every conversation that we were talking about when it came to current events. And at that moment, it hit me. I said, damn, it's funny. As a people, as a group, right now I'm talking about Solon, ADOS, American descendants of slavery, foundational Black Americans, Hebrew Israelites, copper color, indigenous, whichever misnomer you choose to use, but American Black folks, right? And we talk about a lot about one, the veneration of our ancestors, which I always talk about. I don't see because we didn't listen to what Malcolm or Martin told us before either one of them left. Malcolm told us not to trust liberals, and we've been voting for him ever since. And Martin said, I ran y'all into a burning building. And that's when we all started going with the liberal left. And it's been a downward progression ever since. But the one thing that I noticed that seems to be this reoccurring pattern is that within all of these institutions and within this system that we've all now found ourselves in, that I wholly believe is a complete psyop that nobody's paying attention to, whether it's the diaspora wars and the beef between Black Americans, Black Caribbeans, Black Africans, Afro-Latino, white and Black relations, whatever the fuck the psyop is, it's all bullshit. But the one thing that I've noticed is that the people that they use to handle us, when you start doing paperwork parties and you actually start vetting, the math don't be mathing. And by that, I want to talk about, because we always love talking about how Black excellence and Black love is so important. But some of the people that we allow to get on the national and international stage and speak for us as a people, as a collective, that we let shape the minds and the thoughts of the overall, as Tori said, community, all happen to seem to have one thing in common. They themselves don't exercise the Black love that they tell all of us we need. They don't seem to take pride in procreating with their own people to keep their bloodline and their legacies strong and pure as they tell you to. The people that run around speaking the most about social injustices amongst Black folks or POCs and people of color the most, all go home and lay next to and procreate with the people that they get on the stage and call the dregs of society. How many times we had heard Ilhan Omar or AOC say, white men are dangerous? How many times we heard Don Lemon say, white men are a pariah to society? So why is it the people that, again, we allow? Some of these people sit in high places and they act like they us and they ain't even us. Rachel Dolezal. I remember when that happened, right? And I got to go back. I'm going to dig through it. I'm going to find that Facebook post from way back then. But I said back then she was living in blackface. And you wouldn't believe the bullshit and the vitriol that I got from the Black community, my own people. Here you go talking that shit. But you know what? I'm not lying. She was living in blackface. And just like we always do, because we love inviting people to the cookout and they don't ever bring no fucking dish. They don't throw away their plate before they leave the table, and they kick the fucking garbage can over on the way out the door while they steal something off the fucking coffee table. Yeah, like, I don't know, culture, style of dress. These aren't cornrows, they're boxer braids. This isn't a wave cap, it's not a do-rag. It's a boxer braid holder. That's not hip-hop rap. That's, Afrobeats. Or whatever the new hip shit is, or whatever they jacking for the moment. But we continue to allow people in our places and spaces tell us we have no culture, don't know who we are, while it's saying that they're standing there physically as the physical representation of everything that our culture embodies, from the way that they talk, walk, dress, the style of music that they make, emulate, and listen to. And then to top it all off, a certain segment of those people that reach certain echelons of society where people start to listen to them, and then someone comes along and whispers in their ear, "Hey, I'll give you a couple of extra dollars if you tell these dumbass niggas that." And then they get out there and they tell you, "Yeah, you know what? Fuck ICE." Even though a black woman in the 90s who was hired by Bill Clinton studied the actual effect of mass and illegal immigration on the black community. And she told him outright, "It's gonna destroy us, Bill." And in 1996, when she died, that motherfucker buried the report and opened the motherfucking borders. They playing in our faces. And I've already clip farmed that whole story about Miss Jordan. But y'all don't seem to give a fuck. So while they continually playing us and laughing in our faces, and they're using people who look like you to tell you that they're scared of the white man and you should be scared of the white man and racism and blah, blah, blah. But they're all going home to somebody white. Does this make any sense to anybody? I mean, somebody tell me I'm tweaking. And I, by no means am I saying that there's anything wrong with loving who you love. Love who you love. But shit sounds real suspect when you telling me that the people that we all should fear the most, you making love with and procreating with, but you don't seem to invest any time into your own people. Because see, if your people and your legacy was so important, you would be trying to make sure that that was not wiped out and taken off the face of the earth. And you would be actually adding to that and building it and making it stronger, not watering it down. So like I say, maybe I'm reaching, maybe I'm seeing something that's not there. But what I do know is that human beings, our brains are designed to recognize patterns. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is a pattern. All right, so with that said, I'm going to get on up out of here. As I always say, realize, and transparency forces accountability. Y'all keep your eyes to the stars, keep that head on a swivel, because you know it's a dirty ass game out here. And the next time someone tells you that in the name of solidarity or in order to get ahead, you need to go do this and do that because there's a big bad boogeyman coming out to get you, what you need to do is first find out and ask them at nighttime if they bend over and grab ankles for that big boogeyman. And on that note, I'm going to slide out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. And remember, we are in the diabolical den of demons, a.k.a. the Viper's Pit.